Yeah, that's right. So here, so today we are looking into a testing called software testing, and in software testing, what does really go into software testing, and those details we are going through. So let's begin something like this. What is a testing? So testing, in simple words, we can say it's the process of evaluating a system or its components intended to find whether it satisfies the requirements or not. So just we are seeing whether the output is meeting the requirements or not. So if we give input and we expect an output, whether that output is meeting our requirements as standards or not. So that is about testing. So what goes inside the testing, like what types of testings, like what goes, like it can be a functional testing. Functionality testing is whether it is working as intended in terms of functionality. Something like you take an ATM machine, you keep the ATM card, you need to press some numbers and you get the money. So whether it is working or not. Performance and load testing. So it depends on like how many users are currently on that system. It works for one, it works for 10. But if there are 1,000 users at a time accessing the system, it doesn't work. Then you need to think about. So that comes into the performance and load testing. Compatibility testing. Something like it works only in some environment. It will not work in another environment. It will not work in mobile. It will not work in a Mac machine. It will not work in some other environment. Or some place, like it works only in North America. It doesn't work in somewhere in Canada or something like that. So test management. So test management is something like you are organizing the things, what to test, when to test, and you are getting the steps and scenarios and everything lined out. That is called test management. Security testing. So who all can access the system in authorization and authentication purposes. So I can go into the system, that is authentication. Whereas authorization says, do I have a permission to do it? Something like I can enter into a college, but I may not be having a permission to enter into a some other class which I am not intended to. So that's about security. Hello. So we are looking into now, like we just did the what is testing in, and we are looking into the testing life cycle. So testing life cycle is something like we will be looking into like what are the stages in that testing and what we do in the testing and those things from test planning to ending the test. So whatever. So if you take the test planning, something like what you do is first you will allocate resources, like what are the things you need to do the testing and who all you need, all those things comes under resource allocation. Then afterwards there will be a test environment, like what the setup for you to test. Then you need to prepare a test schedule. So who all need testing what. So if there are two researchers which uh, test study is going to test which part of functionality and those things, and test functionality. So you will finalize what is the functionality that need to be tested. So this comes under the planning. After that, you go for a test design. So you design the test, something like you write the user acceptance criteria and everything. But you collect the test data, scripts, it can be automation tests and those things, and you execute the test. The execution of the test can be manual or automated. Manual in the sense you do the test and you say it is passed or wrong. So that's about the test execution. And when you find the bugs, you report them to the developer, and then the developer fix the bugs. Then you need to verify them, and you need to do a regression testing so as to see whether the fix is working fine, and if the fix is going to break other stuff or not, you need to ensure. So that's about the regression testing. So then afterwards, what you have is you generate the test summary report, and you finalize the test functionality, and you close the testing. So the bug life cycle starts from the test execution to close. So thing is like when you start real executing the test, then you will encounter the bugs. So what you do, find the bugs, fix them, and generate a report of what all you found. So that's about test life cycle. So you need to do planning and write your test planning. After planning, you need to write the test cases and scenarios and those things. After that, you need to do testing and find bugs and report them to the developer, get the fixes done, and do the regression testing. And then later release a report on what are you need, what are those things. That's about testing life cycle. And coming to the different terms that we use for testers, like we will say quality analyst or quality analysis, then quality or quality assurance we will say, then we say quality control, and we say testing. So what are these three terms? What do they mean exactly? So simply we can say like quality assurance is saying that it's a bigger thing, like you are assuring something. You're saying that okay, this is my assurance, so something like a bigger thing. Quality control is means quality. You're saying that thing, but the thing is something like you're controlling the quality to ensure that it is fine. You're tuning the stuff, but it's not very keen attention in terms of processes that are followed in the process. So quality assurance more stress on the processes that are followed. Quality control is just ensuring the product quality. The last one is the testing, that is a manual testing. So the testing means it's a manual just testing from the point of like a user. So that's about the different terminologies that we use for testing. So let's see exactly what they depend, what they mean. The purpose of the QA means setting an adequate process, reducing the standards of quality to prevent the errors or flaws in the product. So you are introducing everything and you are saying that making it a product. And whereas quality control, making sure that the product corresponds to the requirements and specifications before it is released. So you are controlling the quality to make sure that you are releasing a right product according to the requirements. And the testing, detecting and solving the software errors and flaws. Simply to keep it very simple, it is something that you find and you resolve it. So that is about the testing. Coming to the focus is on their process, and there is on product, and there is on source code and the design. So what you are doing a prevention. You are making that quality assurance is that you are not going to get anything in future. Whereas verification quality control says you are verifying the thing so that the user will not feel it fail. Whereas coming to the testing, it is something you are finding something, your detection, you are doing the detection. So that's about testing. Who all do? So the whole team can do the quality assurance. So the team including the stakeholders. Whereas the quality control only the testing team, and testing the developers and developers and testers can do. So that's about these things. And then throughout the process, you do just before the release, you do quality control, and at the end of testing this along with the development process, you do the testing. So you do daily the testing, only when you have is you do the quality release, and throughout the process you take care of those quality assurance. So this is about some concepts about the testing. Later we are moving on to what are the types of testing. So based on the different categories, we can divide the testing into different types. So if you look into based on the person who is going to test, we can say that it is a alpha testing or beta testing. And based on the approaches that we are following to test, we can say it is a black box testing, white box testing, and a gray box testing. Means what you are doing, who has the knowledge of what, that is about the approaches. And the next method of execution, based on the method of execution, you're going to do automation testing or manual testing. Something like you are executing the test scripts, then it is called automation testing. You are just executing the test scenarios what you have written, then it is called manual testing. Then what we have is the phase of testing. Depending on the phase of testing, like where it is, you can say the testing is a smoke testing, or regression testing, or sanity testing, or retesting, or something like that. So that is about based on the level of the phase of testing. Based on the level of testing, at what level you are testing, you can say it is unit testing or integration or in between testing or acceptance testing. At exactly what place you are testing, that is called level of testing. And then afterwards we have testing something like functional and non-functional testing. Based on the scenario, they also and structure testing and unstructured testing. So that's about the types of testing, and we will look into these types of testing each individually in the coming slides. So first, let's start with the manual testing. So manual testing is something like you are testing manually a software product. Like you are not using any automated tool or scripts here. You are just testing the tester as an end user. You are testing the product to see whether it met the intended behavior or something like of such kind. And the different stages of manual testing. So if you look into the different stages that go into the manual testing, we can say them as unit testing. You are testing a piece, and integration testing. You are testing grouping some of the pieces together, buttoning up them, and then you are doing the integration testing. System testing. System testing is something it's a different kind of thing compared to the integration testing. Integration testing you can do it on a module, whereas the system testing is like a testing the whole system. And user acceptance testing, you're going to do a testing inside the inside some environments to see whether the user is able to accept the product or not. So that is about the user acceptance testing. So these are the different types of manual testing that are available. So then we have what is called automation testing. So this testing uses scripts and another software product to evaluate the software that we are going to design or develop. So we use some other scripts and test and another software. So this type of automation testing helps us to rerun the scenarios that get performed manually and quickly and repeatedly. We can rerun the scripts so that you don't need to run every time. You just need to run it one more time. Then it runs all the tests that are written in the scripts. So write it once and run it many times. So that is about automation testing. But you're going to use some special products or softwares for this, and some level of coding you need to have for to perform this type of testing. And what projects you can work on automation testing. When you go with a large and critical projects, you need to do the automation testing. The projects that require testing the same areas frequently. So you see like same area need to be tested frequently. Something like a one time test done cannot fix it. So in those cases, you need to go with these type of testing. Then when the requirements are not changing quickly, then you can do the automation, and because it takes time to do the automation and accessing the application for load and performance, like you can do both the things. And what else you have? You have something like a stable software is with respect to the manual testing and availability at that time. So these are the automation testing scenarios when you need to consider when to go for automation testing. So coming to the alpha versus beta testing, so we use the word alpha and beta testing. What does it mean? So you do unit testing, you do integrate some module and do whole system testing. After whole system testing, you can do a types of user acceptance tests. One is called alpha testing and another is called beta testing. So both are user acceptance tests, and what is the difference between them is, see, alpha testing is performed by testers who are internal employees of the organization. Something like just we are doing like in a large scale inside the same organization. Whereas beta testing is something like performed by the end users, a group of end users or clients who are not employees of the organization and they don't know anything about what's the process and what exactly it should do. That's about alpha testing versus beta testing. And alpha testing performed at the developer side, and whereas beta testing is performed at the client location. And reliability and security testing are not performed in the in-depth alpha testing, whereas we have in the beta testing we have the reliability, scalability, security, and robustness checked during the beta testing. So in alpha testing, there can be a white box testing and black box testing, whereas beta testing is essentially a black box because they just don't know what exactly the processes that are going behind the scenes. So they are just testing the software from their point of view. They don't know internal process. So it is therefore you can say it as black box testing. Whereas white box testing is they know the process inside. So that's about white box testing. And alpha requires the lab environment. Here you don't need any environment in coming to the case of beta testing, and a long execution cycle. It is a short execution cycle, and critical issues are fixed and addressed by developers immediately in alpha testing. And most of the feedback is collected from the beta testing will be implemented in the future versions of the project. And alpha testing is to ensure the product before we move to the beta testing. So first we do beta testing and then do alpha testing. Sorry. uh, yeah, so alpha testing is just to ensure that the quality of the product before going to the beta testing. So that's about first we do the alpha testing, then we do the beta testing. So beta testing majorly concentrates on quality of the product but gathers user input on the product and ensures that the product is ready for real time users. So what does this to say is something like simply to keep in a sense, beta testing is all about end users testing our system before it is released to the market. So some group of end users or clients or some people who know the business are going to come and test the product. Sorry, who knows in alpha testing, who knows what business and process are going to come test our product. That is about alpha testing. Whereas beta testing, there is no product or there is nothing. Uh, you have only the you don't know anything about the product. You only have the top level access to the product. So that is about beta testing. So coming to the white box testing and black box testing, you can see like black box means you don't know what is inside that box. You don't know what is the internal process that goes inside the box. Whereas white box testing is something like you know what exactly you need to do, what it is doing inside the box. So that is about the black box testing and red box testing. And in between, if you're gonna play, that is called gray box testing. So internals are not known, internals are fully known. And testing as a here user and testing as a developer. So that's about the difference between black box and white box testing. But you can see like these are different box type testings based on who is doing that. So generally developer does the white box testings and the developer and testers, and whereas end users do the black box testing. So that's all about white box and black box testing. And to see like a detailed explanation about white box and the black box testing, here it is. So internal workings of the application are not required in black box. You don't know what it should be inside, whereas Gray box somewhat knowledge you need to have, and white box you need to have the full knowledge of what is going on inside. So that is about those things. And here you come into the black box testing. It is also known as closed box or data-driven testing or functional testing. Whereas gray box testing, another term for the gray testing, is the transient testing, as the tester has limited knowledge of inside of the application. So that's about those things, and you can see all other details about black box testing and gray box testing and white box testing. So that's about testings, and tomorrow we will see the other types of testings we have. So we have the regression testing, sanity testing, and smoke testing, and those things. So we will see those things, and we also have unit testing and integration testing. So we will see those things tomorrow. That's for today. And do you have any doubts today?
No doubts for today.
Yeah. So I'm going to share this PPT with you. So just go through them and see what you understand about alpha testing, beta testing, white box testing, black box testing. Those things. And if I say all these things, with the scripts and software you are testing. And alpha testing versus beta testing. Alpha testing is something same as like who the developers testers are doing, whereas beta is something like the end user is doing the testing for you. And coming to the white box testing, like white box testing is by the persons who know about what is about the internal things, whereas what is about white box testing. Whereas black box testing, you don't know what is inside, you just test, this is my input and I expect this one. So that is what the black box testing. So today we did with these different types of testing. So we are done with them, and we are again going to see like we did only the top three. So tomorrow we're going to see other things. So that's about today's class, and I will upload the video. I tried to download it, but like I'm not able to download the video. I will upload the today's and tomorrow's like yesterday's video. And if you have any doubts, get back to me. And that's all for today's class. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.